Hi, this is Ginger Cook. Today's tips are this: how to get a stuck cap off a paint tube. So you've been doing a lot of painting, and now you're trying to open some tubes of paint, and guess what? They don't open for you because this is acrylic paint, and they've kind of glued themselves to the paint tube, and now you're stuck. So a lot of times in class, I will see students come, and they'll get a little, like a wrench like this, and they'll use a wrench. Gosh, that seems so extreme. I'm going to show you a real fast trick not to have to mess with wrenches. Two things we're going to do. Two things, fast tricks. One are these are little rubber, thin pieces of rubber that you use to open, jars in your kitchen. And if you put that on your cap like this and press down, this is the trick. Use this and press down. This easily opens like that. This little stuck tube, cap opens, because what happens is when the paint gets around the metal edge of this, and then it's wet, and you put the cap on, you basically have glued the cap back to the onto the paint tube, which is why you're having trouble getting it off in the first place. Now, if you didn't want to do that, what you could do, one way to avoid all of this business right here, and here's a different shape one too, a little round one, they're fun, is to, at the end of every painting session, dip the cap in water like this. See that? Dip it in water and then put it back on. And if you'll do that from the time you buy a brand new tube of paint, from the time you buy a brand new tube of paint, if you'll remember to dip the cap in water, not every time you put the cap back on, just at the end of the day when you're through painting, you won't have to even resort to, certainly not to pliers, not to things like this. But I always keep one of these in my paint tube box, because who's perfect? None of us. You mean to do it, you were going to dip it in water, and then something got busy, and then you had to go, and you were lucky to get the caps back on at all, and you didn't. So now they're glued. So that's your solution. These are just great. And also, I want to just share one more thing with you. There are certain brands of acrylic paint, Liquitex being one of them, that has a self-cleaning cap. So bless their little hearts, I wish everybody did this. Every time you put the cap on and screw it down, it's cleaning itself. And if you remember to, let me just kind of show you here, I have a little box of extra caps like this. And when I'm done with I have a little bag of these ones. When I'm done with a tube of paint, I like to keep the caps. Maybe one's rolled under the desk, I don't feel like going to look for it, or maybe one cap is in slightly better shape than another. So that's the solution too. Keep the caps, dip them in water, and you could also try a professional brand of acrylic paint that has self-cleaning caps. And if you have any kind of arthritis, or your hands are, you don't have as much dexterity with your hands anymore as maybe you used to, you just don't have the hand strength, these little things are great. And also I've never had trouble getting caps off of this kind of paint tube. So that's my tip and trick for the day. If you're wondering on how to do these kind of paintings that I'm showing you here, these are just a few of the lessons that I teach on Ginger Cook Live. Every week there's 2 new lessons like this. I have like 150 paintings in the library for students to do. They're all about an hour long, all step by step. So thanks for watching. I'm going to put my own little plug in here, gingercooklive.gallery. Why not? Hey, it was fun, you guys. Talk to you soon.